pastor, who is really only a vicar at that point, a practice pastor, if you will, a student teacher pastor, said, no, the cemetery is reserved for members only for burials. That night, the pastor, the vicar, couldn't sleep. So what he did was he went back to the church and he found that the American soldiers had buried their fallen fellow soldiers outside the fence. So that night, what he did was he moved the fence. The next day, the American soldiers came back to pray, and they couldn't find outside the fence the burial plots. So they went back in and they talked to the vicar, and he said, I couldn't sleep. He said, these souls were important, and I decided we would change and do a new thing and bury them next to our members, so I moved the fence. He told them, I regretted telling you no, and I couldn't sleep, so I prayed and was given this direction. You see, God gave him a new perspective on what their standard operating procedure was, and God gives us new perspective each and every day that we choose to listen to him, that we choose to move our fence and to move forward. There are times, we look at it and we see God say to us, see, I am doing a new thing. And that becomes our source of hope during doubts. It becomes our source of hope during battles. And it becomes our deliverance during struggles as we move to him, to move that fence. So often in our world, we see things that are stymied because people cannot face a renewal of a new vision. But we are able to see God's direction in our lives, while the message never changes of the grace of God. The means of us working within it can. So today, think about moving that fence in your life to include others. Think about moving that fence in your life that may change your perspective. And go back to Isaiah chapter 43, where you clearly see God saying to us, see, I am doing a new thing. Today, I'd ask that you would keep Robert Mesa in your prayers. Robert works with the Maryland Food Bank and with Target, and he has been responsible for bringing many things to us over the past 18 months, and he has been suffering from COVID. And he, is on an oxygen tank. And this has been a 6-week process for him. We'd continue to ask that you would keep him in your prayers. Miss Mayer, in your prayers as she continues to recover. We give thanks to God for Mrs. Gaubatz being back in our midst. And for me personally, the Herzog family, with the Reverend Dr. John Herzog, who was my superintendent when I was a principal at a school in Detroit, who passed away last night at a relatively young age, early 70s, and everything good that I do administratively came from the Holy Spirit, with John being the guide. So keep them all in your prayers. Have a blessed day today in the Lord.